All right, I know you guys just got back from lunch, but I have a really important question for you. Are you ready to rock? It's pretty good. Let's try it one more time. Are you ready to rock? All right. My name's Melin. I'm the Senior Social Media Community Manager at Callahan Creek, which is an ad agency in Kansas. And today we're going to talk about challenging creative assumptions, because a lot of us, whether you're a marketer or whether you're a brand manager or whether you're a content creator, you're solving problems every day with creativity. And the thing is that, especially in the ad world that I live in, people think that creativity is some special thing, right? We have the creatives over here, we have the social media people over here, we have the copywriters over here, but the account managers are usually not creatives, right? And I'm here to tell you that that's a bunch of crap, okay? Anybody can be creative. It's a process. This quote right here, has anybody heard this quote before? It's really similar to what Duncan said yesterday, which is really cool. I loved his presentation. But this is from John Cleese from Monty Python, who is one of my all-time idols. And he says it's about the willingness to play. So the good news is that the creative process is not something that's just for a select few people. It's something that can be learned and honed, something you can get better at. And I've burrowed it down to 6 ideas: passion, training, research, ideation, experience, and revision. If you follow that process, you can have amazing creative breakthroughs. And the story that I'm going to tell you today is about the biggest creative challenge of my life. And it was when I flew to Finland and won the air guitar world championships. Yes, there is such a thing. And it was a lot of hard work, and it was ridiculous. And it was a goal that I set for myself, and I was really excited to achieve it. So I want to tell you guys how I did that today, and hopefully you'll get some inspirato from that. So after I won, I was on all kinds of media. I was on the Associated Press and Reuters. I was famous for one day on the internet. Keith Olbermann made fun of me on ESPN. It was amazing. And one of the things that I did was I had to go on the BBC because there was an actual study where a Cambridge professor proved that playing air guitar improves creativity. So listen to this.
If you had a real guitar in your hand, would the movements you were making make any sense on a guitar keyboard? Could you do that on a guitar itself?
I think that you could do some of it on a guitar, but the whole point of playing air guitar is to do something that their guitar cannot actually do. So what we're doing is we're interpreting music, we're interpreting rock and roll in a way that's bigger than life, in a way that's freeing and more creative, and it just allows us to kind of channel the music and then express it any way that we can. If you just limit yourself to what a guitar can do, well, that's not really air guitar.
Right. Come back to you and talk about the kind of...
So I'm literally Skyping in, and you can keep the video going. I'm literally Skyping in at my desk at work, and I have no idea what this guy looks like. And he's about to talk about creativity, and he's a professor, Professor John Rink. Listen to this. This is amazing.
In the performance,
It certainly can make a difference. I mean, we see, and others have seen, quite a difference between practice on the one hand and performance on another, whether it's imagined performance or something in front of a real audience. It moves you to a higher plane. I absolutely agree with what Eric was talking about with respect to the instrument, because one of the things that I think one tries to do in practice is to get beyond the limitations of an instrument. You want to capture the full potential of the instrument, but move beyond it, and that's part and parcel of being a creative musician.
I never thought I would have a Cambridge professor say, I totally agree with what Eric is saying. So let's give you a brief history. Many of you may be wondering, what is air guitar? This is an air guitar in its natural state. Now, air guitar in the modern form, as we know it, was probably maybe brought to focus in Woodstock with Joe Cocker, right? There he is doing, with a little help from my friends by the Beatles, Bill and Ted in the 90s, big modern air guitar influence. But air guitar is now so mainstream that even in Parliament, when people get really bored listening to windbags talk, they play air guitar. So air guitar really is a mainstream thing. Now, a lot of people don't know air guitar has been around since biblical times. This is an actual manuscript this is an illustration of the first air guitar championship ever recorded from the Bible. It was brought to high art in the Baroque period with Hercules and Omphale, a sculpture that shows Hercules trying to impress his girlfriend with his mad air guitar skills. It was also brought to the intellectual set in the 1800s by no less an authority than Marcel Proust, who's seen here playing air guitar, well, actually breaking the cardinal rule of air guitar by using a tennis racket, which is exactly what I was doing when I was a kid. This is me and my cousins, and I convinced them to dress up like Kiss, and we wanted to jump around and perform for my granny at her house, but she didn't have any Kiss music, so this is us playing to Rhinestone Cowboy by Glenn Campbell. But as you can see, I've been doing it for a really long time. So, air guitar in the competitive form. It's only been around since 1996. The Finns beat us to the punch. Finland started the Air Guitar World Championships, and the way it works is you work on a song all year long, you get it worked up, it's 1 minute, it's a song of your choice. That's the key, right? If you're good enough to get to the second round, then you do an improv round, okay? Now, the other thing that's amazing about the Air Guitar World Championships is the philosophical discussion. And the Finns truly believe this, and this is brilliant in its simplicity. If everybody in the world stops what they're doing at the same time, and we all play air guitar together, all wars would end. All conflicts would stop. It's beautiful. I love that. And they totally believe it. So what happened in 2003 was America got involved. And when we get involved, things usually get serious, right? Our first year in the competition, there was a guy named C. Diddy. He won the American Championship, went to Finland, and won the whole thing.
Air guitar.
Air guitar.
The air guitar.
Air guitar.
Air guitar. That's right. I said air guitar.
It's one of the dumbest things I've ever seen.
We get that a lot. So I saw the movie Air Guitar Nation. It was a documentary that came out in 2007. I didn't see it until 2009, and already air guitar had been happening without me, competitive air guitar, and I didn't even know it. But when I saw this movie, it was like a bomb went off in my head, right? I was like, oh my God. So let's get to the creative process. Passion, training. The first two, I think I've got those under control, right? So we'll just wipe those clean, and we'll start with the next one, which is research. Now, the crazy thing about research is that I had to go online to find out what happened in the years since the movie was actually made, and there was a lot. There was a guy named Hot Licks Houlihan, and this is Hot Licks' video, and this was a major inspiration for me in thinking outside the box and challenging the assumptions of what it means to play air guitar. Watch what he does with this air guitar here. It disappears, it comes back, it does all kinds of things. Uh-oh, and it just disappeared. All right, here we go. Pretty good. Yes! All right, it's a bow and arrow, right? It disappeared, it came back, he threw it up, he shot a gun, he blew smoke out of the gun. I mean, that's pretty amazing. So immediately I knew I had a lot of work to do. So I had to come up with a character. I decided on Mean Melin, because my last name is Melin, and everybody pronounces it Melin. And I figured if it rhymed, nobody could ever get it wrong. So when I won the world championship, they said, Mean Melvis wins. Melvis? What is that? Anyway, I came up with a character, and then I picked a song. My very first song was Megadeth, Wake Up Dead. It was from a record I loved when I was in high school, which is when I did most of my air guitar training and practice. Moving on, I had to brainstorm some air guitar moves, okay? A lot of you have brainstorming sheets. They probably don't look like this. This is my actual sheet. I just copied it and put it in here. Open chord, fling guitar around back, catch in front as guitar stops. That was a move I'd been working on since 2009. So then I go on the road. I start to get experience. I'm seeing what it's like. I'm doing it in front of a crowd. I'm listening to the judges. And, you know, I'm doing okay, but not great. Now, how is air guitar judged? Okay, this is like, as marketers, as creators, we always want to know what the goal is. We have an end goal, and we try to meet it. The problem in air guitar is that it's technical merit, stage presence, and airness. And if you saw the air guitar competition last night, you know that airness is indefinable. Either you have it or you don't. Or as Judge Potter said about pornography, you know it when you see it. That's an actual US Judicial Court quote. So the problem is, it's totally subjective, right? In our jobs, we know what our goals are. We know our goals are engagement or awareness or whatever. But in air guitar, the judges are different every night, and they're judging airness, which makes no sense. So how are you supposed to win when that's the challenge, right? I tried a lot of different things. This is an example of a year that I did really, really poorly. I grew a mustache. I tried to dress like Freddie Mercury. I'm like 80 pounds heavier than him. And I tried to do a song that I thought was, if it was really popular, people would like it. So here's a clip of that. Yes, I actually did rip off my pants to reveal more pants, because I am not taking any pants off. Yeah, so that didn't go very well, but I learned a really good lesson, right? Pick a song that you love and do something that's going to accentuate the movements that you're doing, right? But I did this for 5 years, right? And I was 3rd place in the country, 4th place in the country. My last final year, I was a 1/10 of a point outside of 1st place. And it was just really frustrating because I'm picking a new song every year. I'm trying out new strategies. And then, oh, here we go. No, I went way too far. All right, let's go. Sorry. So another year, another strategy, another song, right? The problem was that I had all these great ideas and I could not find the right song to make these ideas happen. You saw that brainstorm list. It was ridiculous. I had an idea where I was going to play the song backwards and do reverse backwards air guitar, right? And then, again, I had a revelation. And this is the problem. This is about challenging the assumptions, right? If airness is something that's indefinable, if airness happens not when you're pretending to play the guitar, but when you're doing something completely different and it becomes its own art form, then why choose somebody else's song? Why not design a song from the ground up with the moves in mind? So reverse engineering the process and putting the creation of the moves before the music solved my problem. What happened was I had to realize I can actually put a song together 5 seconds at a time with my friend Doug, who's a guitar player. I'm a drummer. I have no idea how to play the guitar. And we did that. And so I looked at all of those moves, and I said, what do they sound like? And then we wrote a song. And I got on my phone, and I went, da-da-da-da, and I sent him these little messages, and we put it together. We went in the studio. We tracked the whole thing with me on the drums, and that is how I ended up solving my creative problem and winning the world championship. So, do you guys want to see the song? All right, I broke it down into 4 different movements. Again, this is just a minute, but just so you can see how much work went into it, I usually illustrate them, but we're running out of time, so I'm just gonna run them real quick, and you can see underneath, if you can follow along, you can see those things happening in each clip. All right, that's part 1. The reveal something new, that was, I had a hat on. They thought I had short hair until that moment. Movement 2. And that was the move where I threw it around and caught it. I finally was able to design that after writing the music for it. Movement 3, this is the backwards part. People flipped after that. I was like, yeah, this is working. All right, this is climax number 2. That was a pretty great moment. I started brainstorming that song Thanksgiving the year before, and that was in August, so that was a year's worth of work in 1 minute. So what I'm trying to say to you guys is that raw creative is not where it's at, right? It's about process, it's It's about strategy, and it's about problem solving. I had to challenge the assumptions. I had to figure out a new way to look at air guitar because everybody else was looking at it this way. When I got to Finland, I told people I wrote my own song, and they were like, "You're cheating." And I'm like, "No, I'm not. It says 1 minute of a song, you know?" The other thing I want to stress is creative epiphanies don't happen right away, okay? If you're running into the same brick wall and you keep looking at it, you will find a way around it, right? It's all about process, and it doesn't happen overnight. Have a willingness to play, take chances, embrace absurdity, and lastly, I want to give you this quick quote from 2001-2002 air guitar champion Zach Monroe, and he's talking about air guitar, but he's also talking about your creativity. He says, "It's abstract. It only really exists by what surrounds it and its effect on what surrounds it. You can steal a mobile phone or a car, but you can't steal someone's invisible." And also, in the words of Professor Rink.
I absolutely agree with what Eric was talking about with respect to the instrument, because one of the things that I think one tries to do in practice is to get beyond the limitations of an instrument. You want to capture the full potential of the instrument, but move beyond it, and that's part and parcel of being a creative musician.
My challenge to you guys, and the good news is you can embrace your air guitar. Don't just play their guitar. They can only do this much. You have so much more that you can do. So challenge assumptions, embrace absurdity, and kick ass, achieve airness. Thank you very much.